Hello and welcome. Happy Juneteenth. I'm Keisha Dixon, and I am joined today with Michele Grimes, author, yoga instructor, and qigong instructor. Michele has recently published her new book, The Infinite Possibilities of My Life's Journey. Welcome, Michele.
Hi, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I love the message on your shirt, infinite possibilities.
Absolutely. They are there, but you have to look for them.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Michele, can you start by sharing with us what inspired you to write the book, your memoir, The Endless Possibilities of My Life's Journey?
Well, um, I've been writing since the 70s, journaling since the 70s. And I wanted to write a book, not only for my family members, my younger family members, but for young people in general about as you go through this life, you're going to have some challenges, and it's okay, but not to give up and to give them like a little leeway into, how I made it through, because as long as you are on the earth, you're going to have challenges. So, but the key is knowing how to navigate through them.
Yes. I had the pleasure of reading your book, The Endless Possibilities of My Life's Journey, and it tickled me and caused me to think as well. There are stories in your memoir that just seem so deeply personal. How did you decide which life experiences to include in your book?
Well, um, I've had so many. I went by decades, number one, you know. And then number two, I went with the things that I felt stood out the most in my life at this particular time. Now, if I were to do this, maybe 5 years from now, I might have a different perspective, or even another year from now. But those were the stories that touched me the most at this particular time in my life. Yes.
Beautiful. Resilience seemed to be the central theme in your memoir. Can you talk to us about a specific moment in your life that when you discovered your own inner resilience?
Oh boy. I can give a lot of those because a lot of things happen where I had to come back and not give up. And the thing that comes to mind first is when I was in college and I was taking a course, and I had to write this paper, and I did write it, and I handed it in, and I used the book as a reference, and as the teacher had asked us to. And when I gave her the paper, she said, "What is this? This is not answering any of the question that I asked you to write about." And I was just floored, and she said it in front of other students, not in front of the class, but other students that she was counseling at that particular time. And I know my face dropped when she said that, because I had done my very best.
Yes.
And there was another student that was there, an older lady, and not old, but older than me. And she said, "Oh, I'll help her. Not a problem. I'll help her. I'll help her to get this." She had gotten an A on her paper. Okay, so she knew what to write. But right at that moment, I was crushed by what she said. And what held me together was when she spoke up and said, "I will help her." And she did help me. She helped me to make a comeback. She helped me to make that paper. She said, "We're going to the library and we're going to write this paper."
Wow.
Okay. And she was right there giving me tips. Johnny on the spot. I used to write everything in pencil. And she said, "What is this? You writing in pencil. That's not permanent. Put it in ink." And I said, "Okay." So I was listening to her advice that she gave me, because when that teacher told me that, I was just absolutely floored.
So a
But
teacher asked you to submit a writing and then crushed your spirits by saying it wasn't what she asked for, from going from that to the divine favor of the A student saying, I will help her, to now being a published author. Talk about a bounce back.
that's beautiful. It's beautiful because you know where you are at the moment, but you don't know where you're going. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's what I always tell people. I say, well, you know where you've been, but you don't know where you're going. Just keep going in spite of the obstacles that come up, because they're gonna come. That's what life is about, being able to overcome the obstacles that come your way.
All right. That's a great segue for my next question. In my mind, writing a book, and as an author in my mind, writing
Mhm,
a book and
mhm.
getting to the point where it's published and selling is one of the most challenging experiences that I've personally experienced. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced while writing your book, both emotionally and practically?
Practically, it was about time.
Mhm.
Being committed to giving the time to actually write the book. You
Mhm.
had to carve out 30 minutes or an hour or whatever it was to get the job done. Because if you didn't, you would, you wouldn't get it done. And emotionally, just thinking well enough of myself to do it. You can do this. That's what I had to keep telling myself. You can do this. It has been put before you to do. You can do it.
That's really such a powerful message, right? One of practically prioritizing your priorities uh,
Mm,
based on the goal that you've set forth. And two, that message that's in your belly isn't just for you.
mhm,
And recognizing your enoughness to release the message, that is an emotional exercise for sure.
mhm. Absolutely.
One of
Yeah.
the key messages in your book is about being triumphant over obstacles. Can you share an example of a significant obstacle that you overcame and how it shaped you?
Oh, wow. There were so many obstacles that came up. Well, one in particular,
Mhm.
another one in particular is that there were certain things going on in the family that were challenging and emotionally.
Yeah.
And it was like, how am I going to make it through? And, what do I need to do? But it was like a bell in front of me that kept ringing and said, okay, you know what your goal is.
Yeah.
Keep working toward that goal. I don't care what comes up, keep working toward that goal and ask for help as you need it. And the
Mhm.
help may have come from other people, a counselor at school. Ask for help as you need it because you are not on this journey alone.
That's powerful. That's powerful. How often are we hesitant to not only receive help, but to ask for it, to speak it out loud, to raise our hand? That's
Mm,
very powerful.
mhm.
How
Yes.
did writing this memoir, how did it impact your perspective on your life's journey and the challenges that you've faced?
Mm. Um, it just goes back to excuse me, you have a goal, or you may have a dream that keeps coming up. And you wonder why it keeps coming. And when it keeps coming and you wonder, so, well, how am I going to do that? Well, how am I going to get to this point? And you pray about it, you write about it. If it's something that you really have a desire to do, you just put it to paper. And when you put things, I feel very strongly about putting your aspirations and dreams on paper, and just do it as often as you can. You could do it daily. You could do it more than once a day if you need to, especially if you're a doubter about, can I do this? But if the idea keeps coming to you, the dream keeps coming to you, you keep going, you don't give up. That's one of my favorite phrases, is you don't give up, you keep going. In
Yeah.
spite of different obstacles that come up. It's all right if they come, but you just find a way around them, or over them, or under them, or whichever way you need to go, because
And
it's going to
yeah,
be a way out.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And it's powerful that you said you write it down on paper. It reminds me of the scripture, write down the vision and make it plain. It shall not tarry, and though it may tarry, it will come to pass. That's like, you're the embodiment of that. And because I know you, I know anything you write down happens.
Mhm. That's true.
I know, it is true. You've offered a roadmap to victory over obstacles in your book. Can you just like give us a brief summary of some of those key steps or strategies that you recommend to receive victory over
Mm.
obstacles?
Well, when you run up against a wall where you think that you can't make it, and I'm going to say this often during this interview, and it's pointed out in the book also, you go to someone that has done what you done, what you are wanting to do, or you go to someone who has more experience in life than you do and ask them for assistance. Can you help me? I'm struggling. I don't know what to do next. Which way do you think I should go? And the person who you ask, they have experience, they have wisdom, and you respect them, because they are going to help you to get to where you want to go. And so if you have respect for them and you ask them, they're going to give you, they can feel the sincerity in your heart when you come to them. And most people that you respect want to see you succeed.
Mm.
So you go to those people and that you have respect for, and you ask them, what should I do next? What do you think which way do you think I have should go? I have done A, B, C, and it's not working. What do you think I should do next? And believe me, they will pitch in and give you the direction that you need.
Was there a particular person or perhaps a group of people that supported you the most during your journey?
Yes, absolutely. I had two aunts. Um, I in the book I call her Aunt M,
Mhm.
and that was my mother's sister. And when I would get so frustrated, and I said, I can't do this. I say, I'm tired. And I was in reference to going to school. I was working on my bachelor's degree. And I said, I'm so tired. And it was problems at home. And sometimes the work at school was just difficult. And I said, I'm going to quit. And she said, Michele, and I'll never forget this, when you give up, don't give out. And when you give out, don't give up. I get a little choked up when I say that because those words help me to keep going. She said, "You've come too far. Don't stop. You're too close."
Mhm.
So when she said that, that was the energy that I needed to help me to keep going. Because believe me, I was seriously thinking about stopping, you know. And then I had another aunt, Aunt Eliza, she's in there too, in the book too. And when I would get frustrated with home life and what have you, I would call her and tell her what was going on, and and how I needed help to make it through a particular course.
Mhm.
And I'll never forget her telling me, she said, "Okay, I'm gonna give you these scriptures." She gave me some scriptures. And she said, "You read these scriptures 3 times a day. You meditate on them." Because in the scripture it does say meditate in the word day and night.
Yes, it does.
And she said, "You meditate on these scriptures 3 times a day." And she said, "I'm going to work with you on my end." And she said, "Write down what you want out of this class. What grade do you want out of this class?" And I'm going to tell you how powerful writing is. This class was the practicum for doing your student teaching.
Mhm.
And anyway, I had a 2nd grade and a 4th grade class, and the teachers, they were wonderful teachers. They had 2 different teaching styles, but that was okay. It's good to see different teaching styles.
Absolutely.
And both of them gave me A's. But when I wrote down what I wanted out of the class, I wrote down a B. So what do you think, what grade do you think I received, an A or a B? Well, I'll answer that question for you. I received the B because that's what I put down I wanted.
Mm.
And that's what I got. So it behooves us to be careful what we meditate on, because what you meditate on, it will manifest. And that was living proof. I said, "Well, why didn't I put down an A? I wasn't feeling deserving." And the teachers saw that I deserved an A. You
That's
know,
an excellent, excellent, excellent point that you've just made. Um, uh, the way I receive it is dream big, dream bigger than you even believe is possible for you.
hmm why not?
Why not? What's the best that could happen?
Mm, absolutely. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Hope, Michele, that your readers will feel, or what do you hope that they will take away after reading your memoir?
Um, hope for themselves,
Mm,
believing in what you have been given. I call it the NAG, NAG, now accepting God. And when you believe in yourself and that NAG, the NAG it'll come to you over and over and over again, something productive. I'm not talking about, you know, silly stuff. I'm talking
intrusive
about
thoughts. Mhm.
something that's going to be productive for you and others. It'll keep coming to you over and over again. Try this, do this, help that person, do this. And it keeps coming. It won't go away. And when it won't go away, that's something for you to do. And you are to pursue that and not give up.
Do you find that now accepting God, those moments come in different ways, like a small voice or other things?
It can come in a small voice. It can come in a, excuse me, it can come on a billboard. It can come from somebody saying something on the radio or on the internet, or you looking at something on the internet, it will keep coming.
Yes, yes. Recently, 2 or 3 months ago, I was having a conversation with a client, and I said something. And she agreed. I said something like, when you feel you have to push, sometimes it's better to stay still and see what that protection is. And
Mhm.
Michelle, a nickel, and usually I receive messages, confirmation messages in the form of dimes. A
Mhm.
nickel fell out of this thin blue air and landed at my feet and rolled so I could hear it.
Mm. Mhm.
And I've been writing that message for 2 or 3 months now. That
Wow.
was a powerful nag.
Yes. 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 So yeah, the nag, now accepting God and what he has put before you, it will not go away.
Mhm.
It will not. It will stay there. And you say, I don't know why I feel like this, because it's something for you to do. It is something for you to do. Mm-hmm.
Have you received any feedback from your readers that particularly touched you or made you see your own story, your own journey in a different light?
Yeah, I've had a guy that read my book or is reading the book currently. He said, Michelle, there was a part in there that was so funny to me. And you know, and I didn't write it to be funny. I wrote it because it happened, and it just happened. So it made him chuckle. So that's a good thing.
I
You know,
have to say, it made me chuckle. Every single chapter, I found myself chuckling. Yeah, but it's so indicative of who you are, because every conversation we have, I always find myself chuckling.
well, that's good. If you were at my house, I have signs like this in practically every room. Laugh.
Laugh.
Because you need to laugh.
Yeah.
It's healing, and even though when I wrote things in the book, I wasn't doing it to make people laugh, but if they laugh, that's a good thing, because you need to have some humor, because it builds endorphins, and those are hormones that are good for your body, you know? So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's quite a skill set. I say skill set, and I also know for you, it's one of your superpowers. It's this innate ability, it's your unfair advantage that you have inside of you to share or write about personal challenges that can feel incredibly vulnerable and still leave people feeling like seeing themselves in it to the point where it's almost lighthearted.
Mm.
If I'm saying that correctly. How
Mhm.
how do you navigate the vulnerability of sharing your stories about personal challenges with the world?
Well, I don't mind uh, sharing challenges, because we are so connected. Until if people really understood how connected we were, we would always try to say things that uplift each other and make each other feel um, good about themselves, you know. And so the vulnerability, I just feel like it was truth, so much truth in me just telling my story and how things happen, until I just wanted to share that with others. It was almost like a no-brainer. Put this in there
Yeah.
because it will help someone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, it is absolutely a superpower and a remarkable gift that you share with us. I was journaling this morning and I wrote something along the lines of your unique experiences shared authentically and truthfully are a gift to others, and that's it. And that, so you're confirming that, and I'm witnessing what that looks like, and that
Mhm.
is such a gift. as you share with others, because we are all connected, what you're sharing is exactly what someone else needs to hear in that moment.
Yes. Yes, I feel very strongly about that. I thank you for bringing that out, because sometimes people think they are alone, or they're the only one, or things should be covered up and hidden, and you
Mm,
know, don't say anything about this. But people sometimes are hurting, and they need to know that there's another way out. You don't have to continue to hurt. There is somebody's story that can give you a little tidbit to get you to your next level.
absolutely. And I firmly believe that as you share vulnerably from those challenges and obstacles, you are also, in addition to giving a tidbit that moves someone else along to their next level, you're also rising above that collective wounding. I call that collective wounding, all those little secret pains that we think no one else has. It's
Mm,
collective wounding. And as you share, you're rising above that collective wounding and
mhm,
lifting others up along the way.
mhm, mm,
That is, oh my God, we could use a lot more of that in this world.
abs-
So thank you for helping to light the way. What
mm.
advice, Michele, would you give to someone who's currently facing a significant challenge or struggling to find their own inner resilience?
Mm. Oh boy. Yeah. When that happens, and um sometimes people will say things to me, and they're struggling and what have you. And I was just talking to a lady today, and she was telling me her dad had passed, and she was hurting over that, grieving over that.
Yeah.
And I could definitely relate to that, because my dad passed, and it was so uh challenging, to see him go from a big strong man to, someone that was just in a bed, you know. And this lady's dad died almost unexpectedly. He had went to the hospital, they operated, and he was doing okay. And next thing you know, he was gone, you
Mm,
know. So I just, and she talked about a family member and stuff, members and stuff like that. So usually when people pass, um, and I'm gonna say it like this: the craziness comes out of in others.
yeah.
Not saying that they're necessarily crazy, but the craziness comes out. They may not even know themselves
Yes.
why they are saying or doing the things that they do. They're not thinking,
Right.
you know. And
Mhm.
so she was sharing that with me about some family members. And I said, well, just let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go. It's nothing you can do about that. you know, and you just bless that person. You send them love, and and the saying, this too shall pass. It shall pass. Sometimes there's nothing you can say or do, but just be silent.
Hold
Just be
space.
silent
Mhm.
and listen.
Yeah.
Just listen to them, and listen to that inner voice within you that's talking to you, and just be silent and be at peace. Send peace to them, and you be at peace also.
Yeah, sending peace to them is such a loving kindness act. And you're being at peace also. For me, that feels like being grounded in presence. And when you're grounded in presence, you are embodying that you are indeed enough. You're enough to hold the space without doing another thing.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah.
So that was deep. That went deep. Is there a specific quote or a passage from your book? When I wrote this question down, I started giggling because I know what my answer to this will be, and I'll share my answer to this with you. But
Mhm.
I would like to know from you, the author, Michele, is there a specific quote or passage from your book that you feel encapsulates the
Mhm.
essence of your journey?
Yes, let me see. I have and it's been pointed out to me that there are passages in here that really resonate with people and lift them up. And this particular sentence really resonated with me. Let me see. Hold on here. Oh, wrong book. Okay. All right. Okay, it happens.
Of
Keep
course
going.
it happens. That's just
Okay,
confirmation that there are more books coming.
absolutely. Absolutely. So it says, we all have dreams, and recognizing and accepting them is the key. We all have dreams, but recognizing and accepting them is the key. And then you can keep going. Accept it. Don't fight it. Don't fight against it. It's not, like I said, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And just acknowledge, oh yes, this is something I like to do. Yeah, nobody else has done it, but I want to do it. So
Yeah.
accept that. It's okay. That's part of the reason why you may be on the earth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to do
Absolutely.
that particular thing. So yeah, so that resonated, that resonates real strong with me, because I've been, Keisha, I've been saying that forever. And I said it this way, especially to young people. I say, I said, when you have a dream, follow that dream. It doesn't matter if your mother didn't do it, your father didn't do it, your neighborhood, nobody has done it. That is not your issue. Your thing is to follow the dream, the guidance. You
Yes.
can't say that because I live on block 47, nobody has ever done that. That's not your business. Your business is to follow that dream. That's the key. Accept it and
That's
move
it.
forward.
That's it. That's it. Now, if someone were to ask me, or if you were to ask me, what from your book really that I feel really encapsulates the essence of Michele, it is the
Mhm.
chapter about driving the bus.
Oh my goodness.
I
Oh my.
love that chapter. And I almost rolled off my bed at the point where you said, and so I had to learn how to drive a stick shift by watching the driver.
Yes.
I was like, you know what? That really does honor the essence of you. I'm just going to do it. It doesn't matter what I may know or not know. If I've decided this is what I'm going to do, it's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I didn't know how to drive a bus. And, they took us out for a couple of days. And then, I had never driven a stick shift. And can you imagine in a bus?
No.
It was unbelievable to me. But I was so determined. I wanted that job and I was so determined. I said, oh, well, I've always wanted to know how to drive a stick shift. And they took us out and we practiced in this huge lot. And then after that practice, you were put on the bus. They were ready to rock and roll. You were ready to rock and roll. So, and
Listeners, just for context, we're not talking about driving a bus on a country road. We're talking about driving a bus in the heart of Chicago.
yes, in Evanston, Illinois, and it's busy. It's a suburb of
Okay.
Chicago, but it's busy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. People are, that's where the University of Northwestern University is.
Yeah, and the way you ended, the way you ended that chapter, I won't give it away. You're gonna have to buy the book. The way you ended that chapter, I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. goodness, yes, that was so true. And I won't say anything else because, yeah, let them get the book, let people buy the book because every word was true. I didn't make up
I know
anything.
it was.
Yeah, I didn't embellish. Nothing was embellished. It was truth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And powerful, powerful truths. So, can you share with us or talk about the role of self reflection in developing resilience?
Mm. You know, with self-reflection, we are very hard on ourselves, very, very hard on ourselves. But sometimes you have to look at what you have achieved and say kudos to me.
Yes.
I congratulate myself on doing this.
Mm.
And it's good, even to have a journal and write down, and this is just coming to me just now,
Mhm.
write down the things that you have accomplished that you feel good about,
Yeah.
you know? And so that's it's a powerful way to self-reflect upon you as a person, because a lot of times that voice, we have about 60,000 thoughts a day, and a lot of times it's those 60,000 thoughts, if you're not careful, will be negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing a certification. I recently did the research on this. It's out of those 65,000 thoughts, 80% of them are on repeat. And out of that 80% that's on repeat, 90% is negative or heavy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We don't allow ourselves to uplift ourselves. Uh, we hear so much negativity in the world today. Is from the outside, from outside of ourselves, from the media, from television, and people have a tendency, even sometimes in comedy, to talk negatively about themselves, and it's people laugh at it. But what about the good parts that you do?
I love the practical advice that you've given for us today. And go get yourself a brag book and write down what you have accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's a beautiful thing, because just say, and excuse me, parents do the best that they can.
Mm-hmm.
They do the best that they can. But sometimes some of the things, and they say, wow, can hit you in your gut, and they can stay with you for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so sometimes you just need to sit and write about some good things that you have done. Everything that you do is not bad. Everything that you do is not negative. You do a lot of good things during the day, and it can start off with something as simple as I brush my teeth twice a day. I wash my face. I made my bed. Write down some things that you have done that was uh, positive, that make you feel good. I helped my neighbor with her groceries. You know, I swept off the walk this morning when there was a lot of trash out there. Write down the things that you have done that made you feel good. If you swept the trash off the sidewalk in front of your house, I'm sure you felt better
Right.
than seeing that trash in front of your door, you know?
Yeah.
So it's okay to write that down, and so you can reflect on the goodness of you and what you have done. Because if you swept that trash, somebody else is going to benefit. It wasn't just for you. It may seem like it, but it wasn't. People
Yeah.
like to see clean things. Yes.
I'm glad you elaborated on that further because I said, oh yeah, get yourself a brag book. And as you're elaborating on that, and even pausing to celebrate the the small things that you've done
Mhm,
throughout the day, that becomes this sacred pause. It's not bragging, it's a sacred pause of
mhm,
reflection and really before continuing on to the next task, reflecting and marinating in the goodness that is you.
mhm, mhm.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. All right,
Mhm,
Michele, how did you personally balance sharing your early stories, decade by decade, sharing some of those struggles,
mhm.
while still maintaining a sense of hope and positivity in your narrative?
Mm. Oh boy. Ask me that again, because I got to
Yeah.
digest that. That's a good one.
Yeah. So, you shared some personal things that you overcame.
Mhm,
And and yet as the reader, I felt leaping off the page hope and positivity rather than I'm a victim, I was victimized, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. How did you balance the two? So that I as a reader would see the hope and positivity in the message.
mhm. Okay. Okay. So, through the book, I may have talked about prayer. Prayer is very important. What you pray about is going to come about. I don't care if it's negative or positive, because every thought can be a prayer. And so when things come up that are not so good for you, then pray about them and ask for assistance or help from someone that you respect. Ask them to talk it out with them. If it's somebody that you can talk out your situation with, then do that and ask, what's another way I can navigate this? But you got to respect that person.
Mhm.
Okay. And it has to be someone that you know that's going to give you something uplifting. Because sometimes you can respect a person and then they'll punch you in the gut with something. They say, well, why you want to do that? It doesn't make any sense. Make sure it's a person that you know that can give you something uplifting to feed off of,
Mhm.
and you cannot stop asking for assistance. And then even within yourself, when you go into your prayer time, your meditation time, you ask the universe, God, the Lord, send me some help. I need some help with this. I can't do this by myself. And the truth of the matter is, and people may believe it or not, but I'm going to say it anyway, there's more power in what you cannot see than what you can.
Yes.
So when you call and ask for help, the universe is listening. God is listening. Your spirit guides, if you believe in that or not, they are listening. Your ancestors, they haven't gone anywhere. They're going to send somebody. So you have to believe in what you cannot see. That scripture in Hebrew, I think is 1:11, faith is the substance of things
Mm.
hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
Yeah, it's now faith. Like I emphasize that now, like that right here, right now. Now faith is the evidence, is the substance of things hoped for.
And the
Is
evidence
the evidence of things hoped for, the
not
substance of
seen.
things not seen.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
you have to have that faith, because a lot of times you don't see what you're asking for, but you have to have faith.
Yeah.
And you keep that faith and those things will manifest. That's how everything really came into the earth. Somebody had faith to create it. They had a dream and they worked on it. They didn't know it wasn't here before. They didn't know, but they had faith. The nag kept coming. You got kept coming. Say, create this light bulb, create, whatever it is, create the ink pen or the pencil, put a lead in it and an eraser. Everything came from out of nothing. And I laugh because it's so true. We we don't believe a lot of times in the invisible, but the invisible is so powerful, so powerful,
It's
and
where
so
all
many
creation
things.
springs.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Hmm.
What was the most surprising thing that you learned about yourself while writing your memoir?
That I could do it, that I could actually complete it.
Mhm.
Because it's been a dream for a minute to write and publish that particular book.
Yeah.
And I have more books that I have a desire to bring into manifestation, but yeah, that I could do it, that I completed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did that. That's awesome.
Mhm.
How has your life changed since the publication of The Endless Possibilities of My Life's Journey?
It it has it has boosted my confidence in my abilities. And it just made me feel good because it was a goal, a dream that I've had for a long time. And
Yeah.
it just like, okay, Michele, I don't know how long I've been writing, about creating a book and what have you, and books. And so it happened. So it just makes me feel good that I have accomplished this, that I have accomplished this goal, this book. And I feel that there are more to come.
Oh, I love that. And you should feel good because it is a major accomplishment. And so you just said there are more to come. Are there any new projects or future plans that you're excited about right now that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I'm working on the next book. It may be a book of poems or it may be memoir too. It's going to be one or the other, or who knows, something else may get my attention because believe me, I got books. They haven't been published, but I have them in raw form.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
How do the central theme of your book was on resilience. How do you practice resilience in your life now? And what habits have you developed to maintain resilience?
Um, how do I work with resilience? Okay, number one, this is what I have found. You have to exercise. I have to exercise.
Mhm.
And exercise can be walking, qigong, um, yoga, but I have to move my body. I have to, because I can see a world of a difference when I don't.
Mhm.
Lethargic, and I don't know, maybe I do it later. I don't know. But when I get up and do that yoga, the qigong, or walking, the energy level just comes up.
Mm.
It comes up and out. And so if you even something as simple as walking can be invigorating to the body and the mind. That movement is good for the body and mind because the body is made to move, not to just sit.
Yes.
No, you have to move the body in order for it to function properly. And it helps the mind also. Okay. So you cannot just sit all the time. No, that will not work. And so that's key for me. So when I'm feeling like, I don't want to do nothing, blah, 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 you know, all that complaining stuff, and
Mhm.
say, did you do your yoga today? Did you walk today? Did you do qigong today? Did you do some movement for the body? You know, and so, tapping is good also. I didn't talk about that, but tapping is good too.
Yeah.
It's nothing like it. You have to move the body to help the mind stay invigorated. The mind and the body, they work together, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how
Now,
I
when
do
you
it.
talk about tapping, are you talking about emotional freedom technique tapping or the cupping tapping?
I'm talking about both. You could do either.
Okay.
You can do the emotional freedom technique, EFT, or you can do body tapping, just tapping all over the body.
Mhm.
And that's part of my yoga and qigong practice, to do that tapping, because it invigorates the body,
Yes.
and it's good for the mind also. It works on meridians in the body, major meridians. You may not know what a meridian is, but once you start tapping and you start to feel better, those meridians are opening up, and you feel better. So that's how I keep myself, going. I
Yeah.
have to do those things. They are important.
Yes. Yes. That vital life force energy.
Mhm.
So finally, Michelle, what message do you have for our listeners today who might be at the beginning of their own personal journey of
Mm,
self-discovery and resilience? What message do you have to share?
mm. Yes. Uh, one of my favorite phrases, and I believe I said this earlier, don't give up. You're gonna have some roadblocks, but when you ask for help, you'll know how to go over, under, around them. Do not give up. Ask for help. Keep going. Never, never, never give up on your dream.
Oh,
Don't.
Michelle,
Mhm.
thank you. Thank you so much. Again, Michelle Grimes, everyone, her book, her memoir, The Endless Possibilities of My Life's Journey, is available on Amazon. I will be posting the link on the description
Thank you.
of this interview. Also, I will also post Michelle Grimes' contact information so you can follow her on all of the platforms and find out where her next book signing event is. I'm Keisha Dixon. Michelle, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mhm.